Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your guy Perrier, and we're back with another video. And this time, we want to go ahead and talk about this beast right here. We want to discuss the M1 iMac 24-inch and my experience with it over 1 month later. Definitely have a lot of pros to this machine, but I also have a lot of cons that I actually want to discuss in this video today with y'all. Alright, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And yeah, let's go! Alright, y'all, welcome back. Y'all, like I said, we're about to go ahead and go into some pros and some cons of having the M1 iMac 24-inch. Released back in 2021 for over 1 month later. I've had this for quite a bit of time, so I definitely have some items I want to go ahead and discuss with y'all. And again, this video is kind of from the perspective of someone that does music production. You know, a lot of these videos that you may see, that you have seen, might be from people that do a lot of video editing on their machine and they're just needing all the power and stuff. And that's not really my perspective. I don't use this machine solely for video editing. I do a lot of music production and a lot of like music related business off of my machine. So that's kind of what I'm going to discuss in my perspective. Alright, y'all, so going right into my pros of having this machine for over a month. One of the first things that I definitely like about having this is definitely the larger screen. Again, if you're not too familiar with some of my earlier videos, I worked with a 2018 MacBook Pro 15-inch, and I actually like that device a lot. I'm actually one of the people that really like the touch bar. And after a while, and after doing so much on that machine, I just realized that I was really cramped. That 15-inch screen was okay for a while, but me personally, I'm someone that actually uses multiple desktops when I'm, navigating my device and just looking at different stuff. So works okay because going between desktops is very easy. I'm someone that has my browser open, my notes open, my Discord open, Twitter, Logic Pro probably never closes, and yeah, just a lot of different applications that I'll have open and stuff. So using this machine, and a lot of people might feel cramped, maybe you might have an external monitor and stuff that you may have used before, but for me this was like the perfect solution. It was just the all-in-one solution. I don't think 24 inches is cramped at all. And actually having a view of my website and just being able to type and just look up and have that big screen to work with is invaluable to me. Definitely appreciate it. So for me, screen is definitely a plus. Next thing up is the speed and consistency. Apple Silicon's been definitely doing its thing. And for me, I have the max out config and it works wonders for me. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have 1 terabyte of storage. I have the 8 GPU cores. And for me, I had to do it that way. I wanted that consistency and I wanted that speed. So for me, it was just a no-brainer. Being able to have multiple apps open all the time. We're talking about, like I said before, my browser, Logic Pro X, my notes, Twitter, different application, messaging open, music apps open, Spotify, all that. Everything is kind of open and stuff, and it's just kind of ready for me to go in and be productive and just get stuff done. Being able to get work done readily, super important for me. And definitely an important item here as far as why I like my M1 iMac 24 after over a month would definitely be music production. Like I mentioned earlier, I love doing music productions. So having this bigger canvas to work with and just look at my timeline and look at all my different tracks that I have loaded on this was super, super important to me. That's one of the major reasons why I actually upgraded. That MacBook, great screen, worked well primarily, but I just got so cramped looking at stuff. It was just like, gotta move this around, move that around. I have to undo different stuff that I had popped up on the screen. I could see all my volume sliders, all my different plugins that I have for different tracks. I have, look, my lyrics here on the right side. Everything is here. I can pull up a plugin, I can slide it over. Like everything is just right here. It just makes it more seamless to work with. So that's why I have this. So amongst other things, those are kind of my top points of why I like this machine after over a month. But let's go ahead and get into some of the cons, because it's not all roses with this device. So I definitely want to inform y'all of that as well. So let's get into it. So for me, one important con is definitely the lack of third-party support for Apple Silicon. What do I mean by that? I mean, for me, in my case, primarily using native instruments, the devices and the MIDI keyboard that I use, really no problem. Once I updated it on this machine, it worked just like my Intel machine. So I really have no issues. There was one issue that I ran into where I had to remove the controller from a setting within within this machine. I had to remove a setting and then add it back. Oh, actually, yes, I remember. I had to basically set it for Rosetta 2, and then I unchecked it for Rosetta 2 and made it native for Apple Silicon, and it actually ended up working. I only ran into that issue once, and it's been working ever since. So really not an issue with the native instruments and the software and even the hardware that I use with it. The other plugins that I use would be related to Isotope. So if you're not familiar, Isotope has a slew of plugins. I really do mess with them. But I use some plugins related to vocals and some other stuff. So I'm very dependent on that. Now that does run with Rosetta 2, but it's not native to Apple Silicon just yet. I think when I looked last, it was projected for 2022. So basically anytime this year it'll be updated, which is not a bad thing, but for me, and Apple Silicon being out for over a year, since the end of 2020 at this point, I think, it's a little disheartening, but you deal with it. It's again, the transition. Everybody's trying to catch up and get it to work. So, you just gotta play the waiting game. And another con that I have to mention here is related back to the screen. Now you're like, Perrier, what are you talking about? You just talked about the screen. We're all happy about the screen. This does have a great screen. It has a bright 4.5K resolution. It's great, color accurate. Everything just looks awesome on it and stuff. I don't even mind like the white or grayish bezels around this screen. But with the screen, what I'm talking about is more so the release of the M1 Pro and the M1 Max MacBook Pros. And specifically, those devices were released with mini LED, and they also had ProMotion, 120 Hertz. So for me, that would have been really nice to have with this. And I know that, yeah, these are the baseline iMacs for Apple, and I know that they will probably come out with an iMac Pro, but, it is what it is. I get it. It's not like they gimped the display in any kind of way. It's still a dope display and by any standards and stuff. So it's great, but I just wish that it had ProMotion and mini LED, and just something that it is what it is. You're just gonna have to deal with it if you get this device. All right, y'all. So overall, hopefully I didn't ramble too much. But overall, for me, in the perspective of a music producer, singer-songwriter, and someone that does this music and music business and stuff, for me, this is a no-brainer device to me. It handles pretty much everything I throw at it when it comes to just anything productivity-wise, all the multiple apps that I have on this, and then obviously multiple tracks that I may have in a given Logic Pro session. I love it, y'all. This is great. For me, and just kind of going back to some other points that I made in the video, I done forgot already because I've been talking to y'all for so long, but for me, this will suffice. There is nothing that I can throw at this device that it can't handle. One, thank y'all again so much for checking out this video, and if you have an iMac 24-inch, tell me what you guys think of it down in the comment section below. And if you are wanting to get one, go ahead and leave a comment or a question, and I'll try to get to y'all and answer it. So thank y'all so much for checking out the video. Once again, I will continue to do more content on this as apps are updated and stuff is updated, and just my experience in general. So hope y'all appreciated the video, and I'm gonna check y'all out on the next one. Peace.